Hello, good morning. I cannot hear you guys. One more time. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, that makes you all awake. Welcome to the #1 university in Dubai as per 2022 QS ranking. Welcome everyone. Let's give a round of applause to everybody who has joined us in this big event. Well, you're just here at the place we call #1. This is Canadian University Dubai. Thank you for joining. And this is what we call the hub. Okay, this is where great things happen here at CUD. Today is not just an ordinary day because we will unveil and mark a significant milestone of an author whose book is first of its kind in Asia and across the globe, according to the publisher notionpress.com, the Canadian University President, also the Philippine Vice Consul of the Philippines, Dubai and Northern Emirates, to the respected guests, professors, lecturers, administrators, and all our friends, ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to CUD. My name is Dr. Fernando Irania Reyes Jr. I am the Program Leader of Media and Culture Communication of Westport University College and your host for today. So, at this juncture, may we call on stage Dr. Louis Lambert, Associate Professor, Department of Social Sciences here at Canadian University Dubai to introduce our President and Vice Chancellor for the welcome address. Let's give her a round of applause.
All right, good morning and thank you all. I've never seen so many people here on a Saturday morning. It is my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Karim Chelli, President of the Canadian University Dubai. However, I am going to go off script, don't panic. I was given his bio to use this morning, and when I read it, I was impressed, but I also thought it didn't really do him justice. And we're here to talk about a book in management, leadership, and that has a lot to do with character, ethics, values. And I wanted to talk a little bit about Dr. Karim. He is known as an innovator in the field of higher education, but this is not just a label. I've heard him speak on a number of occasions, and I've always admired his ability to say, like all good entrepreneurs, this works well, and maybe this works not so well. His willingness to be honest and see things for what they are allow him to course correct and make better decisions and quickly, and these are the mark of a good entrepreneur and leader who is unafraid, and these are also the types of skill sets that we try to instill in our own students and which have allowed this university to grow and to become what it is today, including this brand new campus. Dr. Karim is also known for his support of talent and, more importantly, female talent. He has gone out of his way to recruit female talent and to listen to that expertise, another indicator of courage, as not all leaders are open to hearing feedback. And we need more leaders like Dr. Karim, who have courage and are willing to act on inclusivity and not just talk about it. Dr. Karim has demonstrated inclusivity on a number of levels, not only gender, but disability as well. Finally, there were many other skills I could have talked about, but here's another. It's his ability to work and succeed across 3 different worlds. A skill that is maybe taken for granted in the region, but which deserves to be noticed. Bridging Arabic, French, English, the Canadian perspective, the Middle East perspective, and global theaters literally under one roof. And that's another example of a soft skill that is way more critical than a PhD. And it's not only a language, but it's adjusting for differences in worldviews, nuances, meanings, conversation, negotiation styles, And these are difficult enough in one language, never mind three. So I'll end there, but I think that's the best introduction of character one could do on any Saturday morning. And without further ado, I leave you with Dr. Karim Chelli, President of the Canadian University, Dubai.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, everyone. Also, as you could see, a lot of emotions here. First, let me thank Louise Lambert, one of our best Canadian professors that have helped the CUD grow in many, many ways. Very talented psychologist who is also open for all kinds of practices. So those words are, I don't know if I deserve all that, but I take them with, I'm very humble to what you've said. So thank you so much. But today it's not about me, it's about the talent that the Canadian University community, through its faculty members mainly, that we'll be talking about. I have been asked to give my opening remarks, or first start by thanking Your Excellency for being here today. Thanking the friends. This is more of a family gathering than a book launch. So many friends, so many faces that have helped the CUD grow in its last 15 years of operations. So thank you for being here, witnessing an epic document, as you could see here. Management cases, driving organizations in the normal, in the new normal, I like that. It's a concept, I think, that has been created by Rommel, the new normal. Now you understand why we had a psychologist to start the session. I think Dr. Rommel has been known as one of the most daring professors, helping students beyond the classroom, being an extraordinary colleague to all of us. His empathy, his bienveillance, like we say in French, has made a difference in many, many occasions. He's always smart, he's always happy, and he is always open to help. And that's probably the essence of education. It's so easy to teach extraordinary bright students. You don't need a good teacher. In fact, today, the laptop or the mobile telephone has all the information. They might even not need us in the near future. But when it comes to students that are coming from 127 nationalities, students with challenges of life, there are many students who are, as you know, working, students who have families. So student is not just an 18 years old coming out of the high school, students who are coming to this part of the world for the first time in their life, students who are who joined an English program for the first time of their life as well. So there are many, many, many challenges in that life that surrounds the 3 hours of a classroom, and that's where Rommel has always been able to make a difference, and that's what we are very proud of here. This is what we call in our jargon a comprehensive approach to the learning. The student-centric approach requires to go beyond the 3 hours that we need to convey, but look beyond that and project. We try to project ourselves to what the student is all about. Is he participating? Is he part of that learning or not? That learning process. And today, I think the Canadian University has established itself on these foundations. It's well known for the student community that the classroom or the teaching material is just one aspect, but there is more into that comprehensive approach that tackle and put in the first place the student life. When I say the student life with all its complexity, beyond the classroom, beyond the teaching material, what we have always worked on, what the Canadian perspective in teaching and learning is all about, is the future citizen, the citizen of tomorrow. We don't graduate students. We try to transform lives, we try to inspire, we try to help the community, to make an impact in the community, so that the skills and the aptitude and the knowledge that is disseminated through the courses and the material will have an end that will be satisfying to what we call the society in general. And I think that's probably the most critical part of our job. And Dr. Rommel, again, that's where he excelled. So today, we're looking at this book, and I think the COVID has been probably one of the worst phenomena that humanity has ever experienced, with so many people who passed away, so many families that have been affected, so many societies that have been affected, businesses have just have disappeared. So, yet the humanity, through its scholars, through its entrepreneurs, came up with solutions in this very challenging times. This book today brings new perspectives. What did we learn about this COVID pandemic? How can we adjust? What can come out of this? This is where the cases that you will go through in this book makes a difference. It's not about a philosophical essay or a theoretical book. It's about tangible cases that we can use in our classrooms, in our businesses, that policy makers and decision makers can look at to help them establish what we will call the post-pandemic era. And I think it's one of the first books that have the merit to address these issues, to help us grow, to help us adapt, to help us be better. So thank you, Rommel, for your contribution to science. Thank you for being who you are, the person that you are, and then insist on this aspect. And we are extremely honored as a CUD family to have you as one of our members, and you have always been a star. And today, I'm sure, through the Canadian University and Her Excellency present here, you are shining over all these continents, from all the way from North America to Asia. So thank you for your contribution, and the audience, I will, as I said, it's about this book. So I'll leave you with the panelists and Dr. Rommel to speak and debate on this book. So thank you so much for your presence, and we welcome you to see you.
Again, thank you so much, Professor Karim Chelly, for this inspiring welcome address. You know, I heard about what your thoughts on extending extra mile. No? And beyond the classroom, we look forward to building the future leaders of tomorrow. And it's something that's going to be an exciting journey between our educators and our future leaders as we develop the greatest exciting moment in the UAE and around the world. And right now, we'll be moving for our next guest. And next in our program is the keynote remarks. Our next guest assumed her post as the Vice Consul of the Philippine Consulate General in Dubai and the Northern Emirates since 2016, and has supervised the consular economic, cultural, and administrative sections of the consulate. In addition to her functions as Vice Consul, she is currently supervising consulate's assistance to the national section, a task that she took on since January 2021. She is a graduate of Miriam College in Quezon City in the Philippines with a degree in international studies, and from the University of the Philippines, the National University of the country in Diliman, with a master's degree in technology management. Ladies and gentlemen, a big hand to the Vice Consul of the Republic of the Philippines to Dubai and Northern Emirates. Let's welcome Honorable Elizabeth Picar Ramos.
Canadian University, Dubai President and Vice Chancellor, Professor Karim Chali, CUD faculty, administrative staff, students, community leaders, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. On behalf of the Consul General of the Philippines to Dubai and Northern Emirates, Honorable Renato N. Dueñas Jr., I would like to congratulate Dr. Rommel Sergio for the launch of his book, Management Cases, Thriving Organizations in the New Normal. I note that the book showcases how real-life companies and organizations hurdled the challenges brought by the COVID-19 pandemic and thrive amidst the new normal. I look forward to going through the pages of the book that I understand comprises of 22 chapters and features 22 contributors from 7 countries, namely New Zealand, the US, UK, Cambodia, India, UAE, and the Philippines. The Consul General would have loved to be here with us today to witness the launch of the book, written by no less than a well-respected Filipino academician in higher education in UAE and the Middle East, Dr. Rommel Sergio, but unfortunately, he has to leave for the Philippines for a personal emergency. When the Consulate General was invited to deliver a remark for this book launch, we were definitely thrilled to be given the opportunity to personally extend our congratulations to the author, who, aside from being a leading educator and trainer on leadership and management psychology in the region, is also a staunch partner of the consulate in rendering psychosocial support to distressed Filipinos in Dubai and Northern Emirates. With that happiness also came the feeling of concern after the author specifically requested that I highlight the importance of case studies in my address. I wondered if I am or we are the best institution to provide such perspective. I look back at my years at the department and at the consulate, and I realized that I am actually no stranger to the use of case studies method. Has become part of my system. I owe it possibly from my postgraduate training, where we were taught to analyze events, situations, and environments, and draw plans of actions to address issues and problems by companies and or organizations through case studies. My postgraduate studies might seem totally different from my work as a diplomat, Well, it is if one will focus on the engineering and business aspects. But let me share this with you. The concepts and knowledge that I have learned from studying technology management, such as project, program, and change management, and the methodologies that I have acquired in the process, such as the use of mind mapping, SWOT analysis, and case studies, have helped me in many ways than one in carrying out my work as a diplomat in general, and my task as part of the management of the consulate in particular. Obviously, the case study method that was introduced 100 years ago has since been widely used in the study of business, management, and even law. It can also be used in different fields of work. In my opinion, the case study approach is not only applicable in the classroom setting as a learning tool, it is also a helpful companion in our day-to-day dealings as a part of our problem-solving process and decision-making strategy. As we all know by now, case studies provide a real-life story, a description of the situation that needs to be resolved. It walks you through the process of how the protagonist in the case identifies the problem, sifts through the voluminous data, classifies which information are relevant to resolving the problem, takes into consideration the human context and the culture and environment of the organization, and designs the plans of action. So how are case studies relevant in my work today? I say two ways. One, for critical issues relating to management or policy. Technology. So one, for critical issues relating to management or policy, once I have identified a problem, I study the experiences of others. I try to distill the essence from the different cases and models, and modify or adapt the approaches that are applicable to the organization and to our own unique situation and context. Two, we write our own cases. For issues that are particularly difficult to resolve, since I'm handling the assistance nationals, we try our best to retell them in writing, trying hard to capture all the important details, the route we took, and the decisions we made. We do this in our efforts to provide a guide for us in the future should we face a similar problem. Well, I understand we have students here right now with us today. So I might advise the students who are here today, including the 24 Filipino students who I heard are currently enrolled in the university and are excelling in their studies. The best time to hone your capacity for critical analysis and decision-making is now at the university by immersing yourselves in case studies. The beauty of case study method lies on the fact that it allows you to think of several approaches and solutions to a problem, gain experience in the process without any risk. Once again, on behalf of the Consul General, I would like to commend Dr. Rommel for his vision and efforts to document the hardships and successes of real-life organizations so that we may also learn from their experiences. Congratulations, Dr. Rommel, on a successful book launch, and I wish you many more years of fruitful writing for publication. Good morning.
Thank you to our Honorable Vice Consul Elizabeth Picar Ramos for such endearing moment of highlighting important thoughts on the importance of case studies through the lens of advancing and pedagogical methodologies in higher education. So, maybe I can request ma'am to join us on stage and call our President and Vice Chancellor of Canadian University of Dubai, Professor Karim Chelly, to award the plaque of recognition. To give a round of applause. Thank you, Professor Karim Shelley, and to Honorable Vice Consul Elizabeth Ramos. All right, this is it. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Did you take breakfast? One more time. Are you ready?
Ready.
All right, now I hear you. So right now, we're going to continue and make some fun because we'll be making some noise as we introduce here at the center stage, at the hub, the man of the hour. Here, we'd like to call on Miss Shania Aubrey May Inocencio, a psychology student here at the Canadian University of Dubai, to introduce the man of the hour this morning. Let's give her a round of applause.
Before I begin, I would like to take this opportunity to express my pride in witnessing, as a Filipino myself, that Filipinos are well represented and reputable in academia, as our esteemed authors set example of the places that we can reach with our potential. As a former student, I can testify that he is a remarkable professor. And as a former student, I'm not saying that to get an A. So the author is a professor of management at Canadian University Dubai. He also serves various institutions as HR and organizational development consultant in the UAE and other countries. He holds a postdoctoral bridge to business and management at Tulane University, Louisiana in the USA. And he has earned 2 terminal degrees, a PhD in management with concentration in human resource management with high-level distinction at the University of Liverpool in the UK, and a PhD in counseling psychology, summa cum laude, at De La Salle University, Philippines. He has co-authored several management case studies at the UK Case Center and presented and published academic research papers, garnering awards from several international academic conferences, including Harvard University. He has been named one of the top 50 global educators by Business and Economics, Oxford Journal at Cambridge University in the United Kingdom, and an outstanding international educator, and later on, outstanding global community leader awarded in Washington, D.C. and New York, USA, respectively by the United Federation of Filipino American Educators. CUD President, Philippine Consulate dignitaries, guests, ladies and gentlemen, meet the man of the hour, the editor of the book Management Cases, Thriving Organizations in the New Normal, for his book synthesis. A big hand for Dr. Rommel, Sergio.
Thank you, Shania. That reminds me of the famous Shania Twain. But she's more than that. She's a top-performing psychology student of mine back in 2019. Thank you so much for that very kind introduction. I'm actually speechless. I know that's not a good way to start a speech, right? But who will not be tongue-tied with a crowd as big as this on a Saturday morning? I thank all of you for being here today, community leaders, our top brass educators, people from the corporate sector, former colleagues of mine in the previous universities I've worked with, and the current ones here with us today. The previous students we have had, alumnus, the current students I have in my master's and the undergraduate levels. You give me much goosebumps as I stand here with you today. Let's give each one a big round of applause. You defined today's success as it is. My 22 years of teaching career brought me here. It brought to life the 22 chapters released in 02/2022. Yes, that's right. That's last month of this year. With 22 finest educators and practitioners as contributors. Well, that's a lot of twos, right? From 7 countries in the world, as mentioned by our very own Vice Consul Elizabeth. And I call this as an early birthday present. Yes, I'm celebrating my 22nd birthday. Oops, of course, That's 22nd birthday there, of course, is a big joke. The rest of the figures I said were accurate. Almost a year ago, in the middle of the amicable night, while I battle against COVID-19, I wrote, any organization worth its salt would have a thriving story to tell. It started with a single statement that I come to diarize, and the rest of the contents in the book, one step at a time. Prior to being restated in CUD last year, or I should say this year, I was suffering from depression. You heard me right. You may see me as a very happy person, as what has been described by our dear president, but I was not a separated case. I decided to stay out of any community engagement I got at that time. I was completely out of the circulation for a couple of months. I was detached. I had a fellow community leader, Ms. Raquel Salinel, who was an advocate of journaling as therapy towards well-being. I once attended her session, and I was then persuaded to jot down bits and pieces of the chapters I have diarized. It served as my therapy. Thank God, here I am celebrating this day with you as this book comes to life with a mentally healthy outlook. My comeback to CUG helped to bring that vigor in me. Thanks to Professor Karim for being an instrument of my professional growth. That's more than words I can say. At CUD in the past 11 years, I'm trudging into my 12th year here in CUG, and I hope more fruitful years will come our way. Indeed, being back to CUD has been helpful to fully be on track from my setbacks. The COVID-19 outbreak has brought all of us and the world to its knees. Unprecedented disruptive challenges have created a modern global health crisis that has had a deep and lasting impact on the way the world perceives itself. Even among organizations and bureaucracies, the magnitude of the problems that beset business and educational institutions clearly shows a very dire and urgent need to create and implement management techniques and methodologies that were previously unheard of. As the world struggles to make sense of things and to cope with the unimaginable and incalculable loss of lives and opportunities, it is imperative to present ways and means by which management practices have risen out of the tumultuous challenges that were faced head-on by diverse organizations. Thus, this book. Administering management cases transcends the basic premise of artistically translating concepts and theories into the world of complex practical application. This is always a challenge partaken by any educator, and I know my fellow co-authors and contributors will agree to that, by any educator in higher education institution or those in the corporate training. This is the tall order that this book intended to fill. The collaborative effort, therefore, focus on management challenges, programs, and success stories of organizations during the unprecedented COVID-19 pandemic. Allow me to be more informal in thanking my esteemed book contributors who are here today. It is not just all about me. To Professor Rubine, Dr. Sharon, Dr. Eugene, Dr. Navid, Dr. Kiran, Dr. Hamza, we have Dr. Rashid, Dr. Etienne, Dr. Sabiha, Dr. Maria Jade, Dr. Fernando, our very energetic host for the day, Dr. Liza McHavi, who is soon to become a PhD degree holder, inshallah, Dr. Dijonde, Dr. Abdullah, Melchor, Dr. Burton, and Dr. Valentin. Your contribution to my book is truly remarkable. I hereby thank the Philippine Consulate, Honorable Vice Consul Elizabeth Ramos, for your constant trust and confidence in my team, the Psychological Association of the Philippines UAE chapter, as we provide since 2015 the psychosocial services to distressed OFW, the workers that were made to believe that giving an actual exercise is a form of kindness. Just like the featured chapters in my book, where corporate social responsibility roots from the power to give, our community engagement programs served as my inspiration, my journey to write this book and to help others. To the current and incoming educators, trainers, leaders, change management catalysts, organizational behavior modifiers, human resource practitioners, organizational consultants, and most importantly, to the educators and learners of today, may your journey with this book sail on with productivity and success in the new normal. Thank you very much, and may you all serve as a vessel of hope in these trying times.
Thank you, Dr. Rommel. Highly appreciated for such astounding book synthesis. And this truly makes a milestone, of course, in your career with a feather at the cap of CUD. So, before we proceed with the book signing, which I know that you really love to meet and greet and take some autograph with our, of course, main editor and author, Dr. Rommel. So we'll be having our panel of discussion with the experts in the administration of management cases in higher education. So be with me as I welcome our esteemed panel of experts and contributors, okay, of the book being launched today. First, we'd like to recognize, of course, Professor and Dr. Rommel Sergio, Canadian University, Dubai. Let's give a round of applause. On the panel, we have Dr. Etienne Paul Hoffman, Assistant Professor of Canadian University, Dubai. Also, we have Professor Rubina Mazoud, Professor of Strategy and Leadership at the Seattle University, United States of America. To join us here at the Hub, we have Dr. Sabiha Mumtaz, Assistant Professor, University of Wollongong in Dubai. And we have Dr. Burton Atabao, Assistant Professor, University of Pujay. Okay, here we will start off with a question, and everyone can ask questions if you have some details you'd like to know about the book. We're going to start off, we have the microphones here at the table, so whoever from the members of the panel would like to answer the question, so you can share your views and insights about the question. So we have here some questions that we have received earlier from one of our guests today. The first question is, what is the significance of using management cases in our classroom today? So who among you would like to share insights about this?
Good morning. Okay, regarding this question, I can kick off by saying, here at CUD, our vision supports and includes the objective transforming lives and inspiring minds. And a case-based learning approach definitely is an effective vehicle to support this vision. So when we look at case-based learning, we are promoting the integration between science and practice. We assess causality, we develop actionable insights with our students, and the objective is for our students and professionals to become effective, efficient, and inspirational within the workplace from the insights that they can develop from case-based learning. Now, if we continue in terms of how can we support learning and development, We want to develop critical thinking individuals. If we look at critical thinking individuals, what are some of the characteristics? First of all, they are outcome driven, open to new ideas, flexible, willing to change, innovative, creative, analytical, ability to analyze, ability to synthesize information and to evaluate difficult or challenging situations. Now, if we look at the objective in terms of how can we extend this discussion, obviously we want to look at practical problems and solutions based on real life situations, also based on, it could be role play simulations or scenarios. We want to provide supporting data and documents to be analyzed, evaluated, assessed and synthesized, and we want to focus on open-ended questions to resolve problems and to come up with actionable insights, as I've mentioned. Now, if we continue and we look at some of the outcomes and expected characteristics of students in terms of what we want to see after they have been engaged with case study or case-based learning, we want to see new learnings in terms of problem solving. We want to see brainstorming solutions in terms of problems and questions presented. Furthermore, we want to improve listening skills, cooperation skills, working in teams. We want to improve student engagement. We want to see improved discussions in terms of the case and obviously sharing of different perspectives from different nationalities based on skills, knowledge, talents and individual passions. Furthermore, case studies provide opportunity for students to build on previous and current knowledge and skills and to apply these insights and answers to future scenarios or problems. And lastly, we can say that case-based learning develop accountability and help the student to embrace responsibility in terms of teamwork and obviously to promote further discussion on any of the cases that they may be working on. I would say that would be a summary of
Thank you so much for sharing that. Any from the panel would like to add more about this question, please?
Okay, so I hope I don't create an echo. So first of all, this is my first time visiting CUD. So thank you very much, Professor Rommel, inviting me, and thank you for the students, staff, faculty, and the management for being here to see you guys. So when I was coming in, there was a street by the name of Happiness Street. So I thought,